Hi, I'm Hugh, and I'm Irish, part Irish, and today we'll be discussing Irish immigration to the United States. Ireland and New England had connections dating back to the early 1600s, but the first real wave of Irish immigration began in 1715 to 1845. You may be wondering how I'm going to cover 130 years of immigration history in one video. To put this in a nutshell, let us wear the shoes of Patrick Kerivan. Born March 17, 1805 in the county of Waterford, Ireland. At the young age of 15, Patrick hopped on a boat to go to America. Maybe the discrimination against Protestant dissenters and Roman Catholics, poor harvests, droughts, escalating rents, and the burdensome payments demanded by the established Anglican Church just didn't do it for Patrick. How is Patrick doing on the ship? Not well. Immigrants were seen as a sideline for cargo ships. Ships were usually overcrowded and unsanitary, looking a little bit like this. Apparently this was first class. Ah yes, that means Patrick had it even worse, being a broke teenager. He rode in steerage. On the lower deck of the ship, there are cell-like living quarters, where sections are divided for men, women, and married couples. The space is very cramped, with only a narrow pathway in between the beds that allow one person to pass through. Not too bad, huh? The smell of vomit, restricted movement, and lack of sunlight would have made quite the voyage. Besides claustrophobia, another bad thing about tight spaces is the spread of disease. Keeping sanitary wasn't really the priority there. And finally, after 12-ish weeks, he arrives in Boston. Normally, European immigrants would go to Ellis Island up in New York, but Patrick was built differently. According to his immigration paper, he may have jumped ships in Salem, Massachusetts. This could explain why he wasn't with the other Europeans. Anyways, after arriving in the United States, Irish immigrants would face the bigotry of being a lazy, dumb, carefree criminal or alcoholic. However, Patrick was 15, so he probably just peacefully went to work for someone. Maybe if it weren't for those gosh darn boll weevils. What are boll weevils, you may ask? Boll weevils are cotton-eating beetles that caused millions of farmers to move to the north because their farms were infested with these menaces, thus increasing the number of people looking for jobs in northern cities. But luckily for Patrick, he was able to get a job relatively soon. He transported goods via horse and carriage from the textile mills in Needham and Wellesley to Boston for export onto ships. He would then pick up goods from Boston Harbor and bring them back to Needham and Wellesley. Other Irish men would usually work in coal mines or build railroads and canals, whilst Irish women became servants or domestic workers. Back to Patrick. He worked in the transporting business until he got married. After that, he had 3 kids and grew old and died. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. Na he bar so shall of can you run away.